Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video, and please do not adjust your phone, your monitors, your specs or your eyes. Yes, you are witnessing a fully functioning background and not a floating green screen, and as I went ahead and done this, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and realised we've got a bit of tape on the wall, which is very, very embarrassing, and I think 99.9% of YouTubers would start again, but instead I'm just going to explain myself as you're going ahead and bringing it up, as there is supposed to be a frame arriving. It's supposed to arrive in the next hour if Amazon is ever going to deliver it, and it's going to hold the O3 sign shut, and that'll be a part of our background. But obviously your boys just went ahead and filmed without realising it's still there as a marker. But we're going to continue as we are with hitting the old lights on the old sign, as well as I forgot to turn that on as well. It's an absolute disaster, but it's your usual boy, and we keep it right here honest and real. Shout out to Jamie as well for giving us the sign towards the channel. It was a tremendous gift and everything like that, and we'll definitely be using it when we get to the live streams. But that's not why we're here today, you know what I mean? We didn't live stream today. Some of you might be screaming, why are we not just getting our regular schedule programming? Why the hell are we witnessing CJ without a hat? And by God, is getting very, very grey. Harsh again, lads, but probably very fair. But the reason we are here, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that someone stumbled onto a little tradition right here on the channel, and he went ahead and commented the other day there saying that we go ahead and start every season by filming on the phone, and I decided to keep that tradition alive. Now, granted, it is usually me sitting in my motor, but honestly, where it's parked right now and with the rain absolutely battering down, with the cars flying by, it's an absolute sound nightmare. So I decided to get in the road, get a wee quick dry the grey noggin, and try to keep the tradition alive with filming on my phone, but obviously mix up in terms of the wee tactical tweak, if you want, in terms of filming in the office, which is maybe very, very fitting, because we're here to talk about a game that saw a wee tactical tweak in the second half that definitely helped us out regarding our overall game and salvage what looked to be absolutely horrifying result and horrifying reaction. You know what I mean? For the first 15 minutes of that game of football, we were 2-0 behind. They had hit the post, and I finally started to feel, and I finally got a new appreciation and an understanding what it must have been like to be a kid in the 70s watching The Exorcist for the very first time, because I was absolutely terrified. And if it continued that way, if we didn't tweak it in the second half, if we didn't come back, I was fully prepared to see the negativity and everybody spiralling out of control. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I think if you've watched this channel for many, many years, you know how I feel regarding the pre-season friendlies, especially the first one. I didn't mind the latter ones where it's the starting 11 we're expecting to see. Everyone's ready to go. The hard graph of the pre-season in terms of the fitness work has started to calm down a little bit, and you're just getting back to your regular training. So the players are ready to go. There's no double-digit subs, and it's usually like a game of football. I've got no problem with the pre-season games. I've always had an issue with these types of games, especially the first one, because it's basically a paid training exercise that we do go ahead to watch, and people always get too angry, too happy, too sad all the way around it. You know, when we beat Real Madrid the likes in a pre-season friendly, and I just try to cut through it, and I just say, did we get through it with knee injuries? Did we score a couple of goals? And did we at least see some glimpses of what the hell we're trying to build? And unlike what I've done over the last couple of years, when last season we climbed on when I was sitting in my motor, and the year prior with that under Michael Beale, when I sat in front of you every single pre-season game going, I don't know what we're trying to do. I'm not seeing patterns of play. I didn't understand what we're doing. And I was very worried. But then, ironically, had comments calling me negative. Now there is negativity regarding Russell Matter, and I'm trying to calm that down by saying it wasn't that bad. It's all went full circle. But again, I saw some glimpses, and arguably I did get what I needed to see from this game, despite it not being the perfect result or the perfect performance. But again, it's the first pre-season game. We made, 13, 14 substitutes. Was it ever going to be that way? Especially when our head coach, came out 24 hours ago and told each and every single one of us this game was going to go and unfold exactly the way that it went ahead and done. As he sat in a Rangers TV interview and said the players are getting pushed physically, they're running themselves into the run, they're absolutely exhausted, but that's how we are working them, and I want to see how they handle that exhaustion and play with that exhaustion. Are they going to be able to keep and retain the information we want them to go ahead today? Are they going to follow? Are they going to go back to old habits? How are the players going to respond? Because the more tired you get, the more likely you are to make mistakes. And he just wanted to test the players, he wanted to try the players, he wanted to see what they've got in the lockers, and I think he did learn some things about the players today, and others he would have been very, very encouraged about. And again, that's what I take for this game, ladies and gentlemen. I know there is clickbait out there, I know people can run with it whatever way they want, and they're upset about this one, and they were moaning about the friendly we had got beat with the behind the closed doors friendly and that. That doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? These players are getting run into the ground, man. They're doing double sessions, they're running all day, they're getting 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here. People are getting changed and tweaked. There's young players coming on. There's no chemistry actually there, or no time to really connect, as they're just basically running out in front of everybody, right? So that's how I feel about the game of football. But again, there is some things we clearly need to talk about, as there was some absolute disasters overall, and that was the first half. And we'll go ahead and talk about that then, shall we? Because I think both Leon King and Robin Proper, who started as our centre-backs, never covered themselves in glory, and neither did Kieran Dowell, if I'm honest with you. I didn't think Raskin had a great game either, by the way, but in terms of the people that's really fighting for their spot, I didn't think any of them really went ahead and grabbed it. The likes of Kieran Dowell, I thought, broke down a lot of attacks, and I was interested, right, because I thought, right, he could surprise. He played really well last year under Russell Martin's system, getting a lot of the ball. Could he be? Could he be? Could he be? No, it was more of the same. And honestly, I didn't like saying this, but I think the shirt's too heavy. I just honestly do. And Big Robin Proper, I think, showed every single person, including everybody in the club, that he's not got the facilities to play Russell Martin's system, you know, because he started it. Think of your first goal we conceded. He done everything Martin wants. The trap, wins the ball, presses forward, tries to drive in the pass, but gives the ball away, and then from the counter-attack, which was clear and obvious, he's sitting there lumbering back, and it takes him about 14 weeks to get back in his defensive spot. Again, some people might argue he's still running back there, and if you go to Ibrox, I know he's still trying to get back to his defensive line, and it was really poor. Leon as well should probably do better for the second goal we conceded, as he headers it in to danger, but you could argue both Max Aarons and obviously young Curtis could do better to stop the cross as well, if we're being brutally fair. So there is things you can really nitpick in, ladies and gentlemen, and if you want to look at it bluntly, there is a joke to be had there, because it's a new era, new players, new coach, yet despite all of that, we were 2-0 behind. We went in at half-time getting booed off the park, and it took us to a second-half performance to actually start looking like a football team and rallying and responding. Hello, last season, it's your boy CJ again. I've got more greys to get implanted in to the noggin. So there is stuff we can moan about, but again, for me, it's the first pre-season game. I'm just no getting moan, because a lot of people do talk about the second half performance, and they sort of much better and everything like that. Tab brought it made different, diomande made a massive difference, and yeah, they are two quality players. But what I also feel like is the ball fell to the quality players. Because you think about the way we scored our goal, for instance, we done a midfield trap in the middle of the park, won the ball early, diomande scores a first time effort, brilliant. But again, we actually done that exact same trap in terms of the midfield, won the ball up at the exact same spot several times. In the first half, it was just falling away because it was gone to Dowell. To be fair, it went to Curtis a couple of times, and it fell around about the box, and it just never connected with anybody, especially with Oscar Cortez in the first half on the left-hand side. So the exact same move that brought us a goal in the second half, what everyone's absolutely loving, actually happened in the horrific, dreadful first half. We just never had the good enough players on the park at that point to really take point of it and take advantage of it. So again, that's where I take the positives. The stuff that brought us the goals in the second half actually was there in the first half. We were just mixing and changing because it's the first pre-season game, and you could have to talk about the old boos and everything like that. When it happened, I thought it was a bit of a joke first. I was like that, but again, I'm not going to say you're right or wrong today. If you pay the money, you're able to you're entitled to voice your opinion whichever way you want today. But again, it maybe was a wee sentimental thing. Maybe it was a beautiful gesture to our boy Phil Clement, previous managers of both clubs, and getting there when the both clubs he's managed went ahead and played each other. He's hearing the song and he's hearing the chant that he heard pretty much every week for a while. That was the booze. So maybe it was a wee bow to our boy Phil Clement, or it was people just voicing their opinion and being disgusted at what they just watched. And it's probably the latter, but you just never know, ladies and gentlemen. But my thoughts on the terms of the boozes, I didn't think it was directed at Martin. I didn't think it was directed at what we were trying to build up. I think a lot of what was there was the lack of patience there regarding certain players and certain individuals. And what I hope Martin takes from what he saw from that game, not only with the good and the bad, but the boos also, is there's people in that dressing room that maybe look very good in training, that maybe say all the right things and look like they're going to be a great player for them, but they will let them down when it actually matters. And I think the Rangers fans have ran their course with several players that Martin's trying to give a second chance to, or a third chance, or a fourth chance to. They're done with them. Their patience have ran through. They're finished. They're just wanting to move on. Martin's trying to give them a chance. And then you're 2-0 down at half time and every Rangers fan's gone, see, we told you. It's a different page, you know what I mean? But it's exact same word. So you could look at that as maybe a warning to Russell Martin, and I think that's the way he has to see it, because there's zero patience there for several individuals to be forced into a starting 11 that the fans feel don't belong there anymore. But that's my thoughts on the booze. It was what it was. You could argue the Rangers team responded in the second half with a much better performance, but again, I think the tactical tweak, I think the additional or better players in the right areas, the likes of diomande, who you know I'm a massive fan of right here on the channel. I think he is quality, and with these rumours or bids and all that, or ever ending up to be true, I think if we sold him it would be a mistake, because he looks like a Russell Martin player, and I just feel like there's even a level he can reach, if I'm being honest with you. But the tactical tweak in terms of the back three, I thought was absolutely brilliant, or a back five, whatever you want to shout me down in the comment section below. And I think that gives a bit of excitement, because it looked alright with the changes we made in the second half, but can you imagine a set of Wolves centre back on loan? You know what I mean? That might be getting announced very soon. You just don't know about that. But also the likes of Connor Cody, if we're able to get him in the door and drop his experience in there, who knows anything more about a back three than that laddie right there? That's experience, that's help, that's what you can go ahead to build. And again, that's where I take it for these pre-season games. I saw little glimpses, I saw patterns of football. I just watched a game of football where Brugge looked like a footballer. You know what I mean? What is actually happening? But again, maybe it's all about style, maybe it's all about fit, and maybe Barammy's buying into what Russell Martin's selling, and there is something there, because Barammy's clearly got something. He showed it in glimpses in a Rangers shirt, but again it all fell away under Clement as he became maybe delusion, maybe disconnected for that horrific football that Clement tried to play. And again, that's what you saw for Russell Martin today, in glimpses, the little patterns they play, us getting the body, little fast triangles, playing into here, pinging into here. We're a football team that's trying to play football now. We as Rangers fans have not been used to that anymore, as we've been watching Guff for too long under Clement. Cover your ears, Barry, but also under Barry Ferguson. Maybe knew that we're actually playing football. Barammé will end up becoming the player, and he'll just be another player on a very long list who had an iffy first season but responded massively in his second. You don't know about that, but I thought he was absolutely brilliant. If it isn't a young Finlay Curtis, who I'm about to speak about right now in terms of the man of the match, for me, I'd be picking Barammé out of the list. I really would. I thought he was patient with the ball in the right times. I thought he drilled it when he needed to. He never done any hospital passes when he was playing with the younger laddies. He worked really hard. He looked in fit, and again, his assist for the second goal was absolutely sensational. And it should be the way he plays, on that knife edge, getting stuck in, no getting bullied off. He really impressed me. And again, that might be the surprise. We've all been talking about who's going to be the surprise to Russell Martin. Is it going to be Danilo? Is it going to be Davies? Is it going to be Dill? Maybe it'll be Barammé. Ladies, I'm interested to see what you're going to say, but I've obviously mentioned Finlay Curtis a minute ago. I'm so proud of him, man. You know, I really like Larry. I think he's certainly got a lot of attributes, and I think he could go on to be a very talented player for us. But at the exact same time, I just hope he doesn't change too much about his game as he does go there, because he's got a wee bit of swagger, plays with his chest out, and he loves that eye for a goal. And in a country that almost slaps down people that try to achieve things and try to get better, and what, like Lennon Miller, I want to be the best in Scotland. Shut, no, didn't you do that? That's embarrassing. Did he ever say that again? In a team, in a country again that we've saw, we try and make athletes rather than football players, because it's all about athletes. How fast do you run? I've scored 5 goals. How many kilometres did you run? I'm not interested in that. And that's Curtis. He's a bit of a throwback player. He's got a wee bit of football. His goal was absolutely beautiful to watch today, and I just hope he keeps that and just develops on and kicks on, whether it is in the wing or in the 10 position. I think he could be a player, and again, I'm very interested to see how his development goes. Regarding development with the younger laddies that was given a game, nobody really stood out. I thought Big Generals looked good. I thought he put himself a bit through himself, but is he ready to challenge the striking position? Obviously no. No one's yet to be Echo, if you know from last season, who I thought could be in and amongst it. No one's quite there yet. And to speak about the new signings very briefly, I thought Max Aarons was a wee bit iffy to start, but again, he's pan-breed, you know what I mean? He's running on empty, but I thought he got better as the game went on. I thought him and Tav, we got an answer. Is it Tav? Is it Aarons? Is it Aarons? Is it Tav? Could be both. It actually looked no too bad. And I thought big Manny Fernandez, I was also delighted with, you know what I mean? Because I've not got any worries about Aaron's being a good player, but Manny has been getting slaughtered, and I mean slaughtered. You know, the way the Peterborough fans have been speaking about him, I was expecting to come out with a trumpet and a balloon wearing some clown shoes, but I thought he was big, he was strong, he was up against the Club Brugge striker who is, I don't know what they're feeding him, but he's too damn big, and I didn't like it, but Manny came onto the game, beat him in a 1v1 in the heat, and then beat him in a wee bit of shoulder to shoulder, which I like. Again, still rough around the edges, made a wee mistake, but he made up for it. Some people say, oh, he's jogging back, he's blowing out his arse, you know, he's doing double sessions to catch up with the rest of the team. It's skinny. Be that way for a while, but excited to see what he could potentially be in a Rangers team, and that's what I'm taking for it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking glimpses, I'm taking moments, but that's all you're ever really gonna get when you make 13, 14 substitutions, in my personal opinion. Excited to see where we go on for here. I would love a run of games to build our way up, but again, Panathinaikos is coming up really, really soon. Let's get more bodies in there, and let's get ready to rumble in terms of the Champions League qualifier. But that's me, done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. I'll finish up today's video by asking you your thoughts and opinions right now in the comment section below. And until next time, I've been CJ992. Shout out to everyone watching today's video, the new subscribers. It's absolutely crazy. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Thank you to the legends that continue to support the channel week in and week out, upload after upload. And whether you're signing up to memberships that I can't put on because I'm editing my phone, I do apologise about that, or watching each and every video, again, thank you so much for taking time out your day to listen to this grey man. Until next time, I've been CJ992. I'll see you very shortly to talk about another player. Until then, though, all the best, enjoy your Sunday, and bye-bye.